Hello everyone, welcome back to Biotech Hub. I hope you all are doing fine and we are continuing with our series of research and methodology, and in this series we will be dealing with data presentation types. Data presentation involve effectively communicating the research findings to stakeholders through graphical and a tabular format. So graphical representation will include bar charts, histograms, pie chart, line chart, scatter plots and box plot. So bar charts, they are suitable for comparing the category data or showing the distribution of a single variable across a category, or the bars can represent some frequencies, proportions or mean for each of that category, and they're useful for visualizing comparison between groups and categories. Where histograms will display distribution of continuous data by dividing it into intervals and plotting the frequency or proportion of the observation within each interval, and they are useful for visualizing the shape, the central tendency and the variability of the data's distributions. Pie charts will represent the composition of a whole by dividing it into slices, and with each slice representing a proportion or percentage of the total, and it is suitable for illustrating the relative contribution of different categories in a whole. Line charts will display the trends or the relationship between two continuous variables over the period of time or another continuous dimension, and they're also useful for visualizing the trends, the patterns or change in the data over the period of time or across different conditions also. Scatter plots, they show the relationship between two continuous variables through individual data points plotted on the same 2D graph, and they are also useful for visualizing the correlations, associations and pattern between the variables. Box plot, so box plot will display the distribution of continuous data along with the summary statisticals such as median or outliners, and it is also useful for comparing the spread and the variability of the data between the group or the conditions. Then tabular presentation. So tabular presentation like frequency table. So frequency table summarizes the category data by listing the category and their corresponding frequencies or their percentages. And it is also useful in providing overview of the distribute category variables. Next, descriptive statistic tables. So they will present a summary of statistics under a measure of central tendency like mean, mode or median, and they will measure a variability range or standard deviation for a continuous variable, and they are useful for providing a comprehensive summary of numerical data. Next, cross tabulation table. So they will display a joint distribution of category variables of organizing data into rows and column with cell count or percentage indicating the frequency of each combination. The cross tabulation table will also be useful for examining the relationship and associate between the category variables. Matrix table. So matrix table will present complex relationship or pattern between multiple variables by organizing the data into matrix format, and it is also useful for visualizing the interaction or dependency between the variables. Then comes the qualitative data tables. So qualitative data table will organize and summarize the qualitative data such as the interview transcript or the observational notes into some structure tables with the codes, themes and categories, and it is useful for analyzing and for synthesis or for synthesizing the qualitative data in a very systemic manner. Next, what are the considerations that need to be maintained for data presentation? First, clarity and simplicity. So, ensuring that the graphical and the tabular presentations should be clear, concise and easy to interpret for any intended audience. Then, accuracy and precision. So the presented data present the data accurately and precisely, avoiding any misleading visual representation or misinterpretations. Then relevance and contacts, so providing the appropriate context and the annotations to help the viewer understand the significance and implications of that data. Then consistency and uniformity, so using a consistent format and the labeling scaling across the entire graphical or tabular presentation to facilitate a easy interpretation of that data. So by effectively presenting the data using any of the graphical or maybe a tabular format, the researcher can enhance the understanding and they can also facilitate the interpretation and communicate, and they can communicate their research finding in a clear and a compelling manner to a very diverse audience, whether they are from that same field or whether the audience are from a different field.
If you'll find this video useful, then do hit the like button. Also share it with your friends so that they get benefit with this video. And I'll see you for the next one.